I see there is a common purpose of like-minded people in a very grassroots way coming together, pushing for some ideals that they believe in the society. And I'm touched by the genuine motivation of the people that I've met. The Institute was doing it cross-cultural dialogue, it's very negative. To adopt many of the modern. I'm Chui Tsang. I'm the president of Santa Monica College. I've been the president of this college in my 9th year right now. I came to know Hizmet Movement through my involvement with the Pacifica Institute and through some of the activities that I participate in the Pacifica Institute. And the way I came to know it is not that I want to find out about Hizmet Movement, but because the work that Pacifica Institute was doing in promoting cross-cultural dialogue and cross-religious dialogue, and the kind of understanding that it's trying to promote among different peoples of the world, beliefs and backgrounds. And I came to know some of the people and attended some of the functions. And through them, I learned about some of the actions that this Hizmet movement is trying to find out. And it's not in any kind of a reading, but more like an observation of the activities and the kind of dialogues that were taking place. Hizmet movement, and it is represented by the people that I've met. I see there is a common purpose of like-minded people in a very grassroots way coming together, pushing for some ideals that they believe in the society. And I'm touched by the genuine motivation of the people that I've met. I am impressed with the sacrifice that individuals that believe in this contribute to this collective goal that they are trying to reach. You know, there were instances when I was in Turkey and also here in the United States. I come across individuals and small groups of people who have contributed heavily to this movement in their own efforts as well as in financial ways, far greater than I see what an average American would contribute to something that they would believe in. And there's a simple, deep belief in it, and it's very genuine, and I think that is really impressive, because that's where the dedication is, and it has to be something that is for the greater good of the society that folks are doing that. I think in Islam, as we know it and is presented to the public in the United States, it's very negative, because we see extremists being portrayed in a far greater proportion in the news media than we see how it is represented in the everyday life of common people. As in many other religions, it has this social values of spreading goodness, spreading love and brotherhood and amongst its believers. And with what I've met through, with the people I've met through the Hizmet Movement and with Pacific Institute, what I see is really that side of the religion. It's a kind of universal love for each other and a gentleness in it that is very different than what I see in the news and what is being portrayed typically in American news media. There's violence, extremists, there's the jihadist movements, and that's almost exclusively that. You know, that hate does not advance the world. You know, it does not improve human understanding. It will not bring us to a better place. Yet, you know, the message that we hear is that almost exclusively Muslim is hate, you know. And I know that that is not true. But until one comes into contact with people who are really true believers, and they are everything not like what we hear in the newspaper, or hear in the news, on TV, watch on TV, or read about in the newspaper. You know, that's when we come to realize that there's also the other side of the religion. You know, and I think it's a bigger side of the religion that is not being portrayed accurately in the media. And of course, in my dealings with people who are Muslim, the only people I've come across so far are folks who have been very sharing, who are willing to express themselves openly. And I didn't detect any kind of hate, but instead accommodation and willingness to work with each other. And I think that is really important. I think it's extremely important, you know, as an educator, as someone in an institution that deals with 30,000+ students every year, that we allow our young people, our students, to come to realize that they need to have a great understanding of the different religions. And they are stepping into the world. It's much more complicated. The interaction between the West and the rest of the world are much deeper. It would be very possible in their lifetime that they will have to deal with different people from different cultures, from different countries, and they need to have a basic understanding of it. It's not this caricature that we have of each other. Indeed, you know, the world has been improved over the years because we understand each other. We are willing to devote time to gain a better understanding of each other, and not just to build walls separating us. And as these walls come down, we need folks who have knowledge and the willingness, the empathy to want to understand each other, to work with each other, to make this a better place for us. We cannot have enemies all around us. This is not how we want to live. We ought to be able to resolve issues by compromises, by negotiations, by gaining an understanding of each other, and not by going to war every time. One of the examples of what I thought it was very, very impressive was that there's this universal belief in providing education to children, and regardless of the background, and try to promote the talents that there are in the people. And men and boys and girls alike, they both have equal opportunities to access education. I thought that was something very fundamentally important for any civilization, any group of people to move forward. That we provide these opportunities to the next generation, and as wider scaled as possible, so that we can create these knowledgeable people who can then help create its own way of living in an improved manner than the way it had been before. And I think this crossroads that I think that we are seeing in many of the developing countries, and in the little that I know about Turkey, is that in a way to become a modern society, to adopt many of the modern ways of democratic society and equality for all, it is an important step. We don't have all of the answers, but I think we got to find the answers in order for us to to find ways to accommodate the old values, but in a modern society, in a modern way, where individuals' rights are respected, religious freedom is observed, and we're doing it with a common goal of creating a better society for our people. And so I think it's really important that we create these opportunities for our young people, because with every person that we can add to the roster is another brain, another child being fostered, being nurtured, and come to realize their potential. And what better way is it than to have a massively well-educated population to advance the country, to advance the living standards, to advance understanding for each other. We know that education is really basic to a lot of the solution that we can have. And by having a larger, well-educated population, it only benefits the society in the long run. And I think the work that has been done by the followers of this thought, I think it's really tackling the fundamentals of what is needed in society.
And perhaps one of the greatest contributions that the Hizmet movement can make in the world, or is making in the world, is teaching these habits of the heart associated with generosity of spirit, of giving. And they do this without any request for payback.
I think that the Gulen or Hizmet movement represents Islam by, on the one hand, maintaining a strong connection to and being rooted in the Islamic primary sources, such as the Quran and the prophetic teachings, but at the same time not sort of neglecting the world around it.